it's very interesting. Even
So you better keep smiling.
To make a
Sherry. I'm part of the winner zone.
Hey, hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of HR Intervention Season 2. Yay. After a month of sort of hiatus, we're back with another episode. And so many people have been asking, hey, what happened in HRTV? What happened in HRTV? We're so
We're here.
excited.
We're here.
Yeah, we're so excited and honored to have you all here. I see quite a number of people have already logged in. We are also we also have a really interesting topic for today, and we can't wait to bring our speaker in just in a short bit, okay? But first, a little reminder for you. For your information, this is a live show, like you all already know, and we encourage engagement. So feel free to comment, chat, ask questions, debate, whatever. Put it in the chat box from wherever you're tuning in, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Oh, also, let me introduce you to my co-host for today, who is Nina.
Hi everyone. Hi Shireen. Thank you so much for introducing me. I'm Nina, the social media gal of Compass Mind Asia, and I've been HRTV's co-host once before, in case some of you think I look familiar. Anyway, before we chat further, here's a little bit about our show. So basically, HRTV or HR Intervention or is an online talk show brought to you by Compass Mind Asia Sundar and Berhad, a well-known corporate training provider company that helps organizations grow exponentially through their award-winning and proven corporate training programs. Oh, I should really be your spokesperson.
You should.
In this show, we interview HR experts about everything related to HR and career development. We had 20 amazing episodes on really huge topics during our first season last year. And this season, we've covered some great topics, including how to unlock customer centricity and innovation in your company. And in one of our previous episodes, we also had a great episode on the culture advantage with one of LinkedIn's influencers, Azif Mustafa. Yes, and all of these episodes are up on Shireen's YouTube channel, Shireen Kelly. Link will be in the comments and as you can see on the ticker below.
Yeah, Nina, you're such a good co-host. I think you should do this forever. Oh no, you're going to say, oh no.
I'll think about it.
Well, guys, if you all are wondering where our previous co-host has gone, he's gone into meditation in the caves of
A journey of self-discovery.
a journey of self-discovery. So basically, this show, if you're just joining us, is for everyone. Whether you're looking for a job or you have a job or you're a CEO or an MD or a manager or you're in HR, this show is just for you. We'd love to see who's watching. Right, Nina? We've had audiences from Malaysia and around the world, from US, Vietnam, Myanmar, Dubai, Australia. So please comment away where you're from because otherwise we will not know. I see one LinkedIn user there. Hi, Rajnaja. So lovely to see you again. Oh, the LinkedIn user is Amir. Hi, Amir. I have to check on my handphone because that's where I get to see who the LinkedIn users are. Because on StreamYard, it just tells us LinkedIn users for some of you. So, before we dive into the topic today, let me introduce myself. I'm Shireen Kelly, the Managing Director of Compass Mind Asia. And together with me today, I have Lovely Nina. Over to
I'm
you, Nina.
Nina, the social media exec of Compass Mind Asia, and this is HR Intervention Season 2, Episode 7. Welcome again, everybody. To those who have just joined us, comment down below where you are tuning in from, and for those who are having their lunch break, let us know that what you're having. Feel free to
And
share
one
with
more
us.
thing. Nina, have you had your lunch?
I have. I went to grab roti canai from downstairs. How about you?
Oh, I had home cooked food today because I think I still need home cooked food after the whole COVID,
your
thingy.
your party pack that you grabbed from the party you went to.
Yeah, the party pack. Hey guys, yeah, I went to a party and somewhere along the party, my family received a party pack. Guess what was it? It was COVID. Guys, seriously, mask up because COVID is real. I practically lost my voice because of the new variant. I had no voice. Nina tried calling me, and a lot of clients tried calling me. I couldn't even give a sign language on the phone. So they ended up calling the office wondering I went MIA because I never go MIA. So, guys, mask up. COVID is real. It's still around, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, I think a lot of us, including myself, have almost forgotten about the virus. Like we are all out there doing things like we usually did before COVID. But please remember that it's still here around us, and it is still going to infect us, no matter whether we've had our vaccinations or not. It's still going to be bad, especially with all the new variants. Um, okay, anyway, I think it's best if we introduce and bring in our guests, shall we, Shireen?
Wow. Of course. So fast? All right. Well, guys, I'm sure you all are in for a huge, big treat today because this person I'm going to introduce to, she's an accomplished human resource officer of more than 30 years of professional experience in the area of talent acquisition, development and management, succession planning, performance management, learning and development. Can you imagine? That's how much experience she has, okay? And employee engagement emerged from previous role in the FMCG industry, banking industry, insurance industry, even Bursa, Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange, and diversified conglomerates, including Berjaya Corporation Berhad. Amazing, isn't it? She has comprehensive background in developing and deploying human capital strategies and processes to drive business growth. And in her latest tenure, she transformed human capital development of a local conglomerate to align with business strategies and drive employee performance and engagement. So there's so much that she's going to share today that you're going to get those golden nuggets. So make sure you write everything down, yeah? Which is why we're having her with us today to talk about the topic of how to ace talent development. So without further ado, I'd like all of you to welcome together with me Grace Chan, a Vice President Group Human Resources of UCSI Group. Hi,
Hi,
Grace.
Hi.
Grace.
Hi, Shireen. Hi, Nina. So glad to see you all.
So glad
And
to
of
have
course,
you.
hi, all the HR practitioners.
Yeah, we have Mike Tay also who just joined us. Hi, Mike. Let us know where you're from. And Grace, thanks so much for joining us today. It's such an honor to have you with us. So, are you doing great today? Have you had your lunch?
Yes, I have a quick lunch just now. I always believe that I must have 3 meals a day to keep me
Ooh,
going because I need so much energy to do what I'm doing.
yeah, you do so much and you've touched so many people's lives. So, it's so exciting to learn so much from you today. Anyway, we've given a brief introduction about you, and I'm sure the audience really likes to know a little bit more, the casual side about you, maybe some skeletals in the closet, or maybe some of your hobbies, what you love to do during your free time. Would you like to share on that?
Oh yes, of course. There will be something that, of course, it's not my in the profile, and I love baking. If you are my Facebook friend, you can see that I just love to bake cakes or cookies. And of course, one of the greatest challenge that I gave myself is to bake sourdough bread. I still
Oh,
have not mastered it. Sometimes I got it, sometimes I didn't. So that is one of my passion in baking instead of cooking. Now, another
is
passion that I always have is actually people development. And
mm,
some of you may be aware, if you know me, I'm a very active Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters about 19 years ago, Shireen and Nina. That's how I managed to enhance my communication skill and leadership skill as well through Toastmaster. And in fact, last term, I was the district director for District 51, which cover Wilayah Persekutuan and also northern region of Peninsular Malaysia, which I manage about 170 clubs and then about
wow.
30 over 41
Wow.
district officer in District 51. Yeah, that's all
That's
about me that you may not be aware. And of course, the other thing is about my career. It has been very interesting career for me. Now that I'm with UCSI Group, and most of my time I spend is in the UCSI universities. Yeah, over to you, Shereen.
That's fabulous. I've got a question about Toastmasters, right? You said you started 19 years ago. Would you encourage everyone on the show to join Toastmasters, and why?
Absolutely. You know what, Shereen? I just chartered a club which only for HR professional. It's
Wow.
called HR Leaders Toastmaster Club. We just started last month. In fact, tonight
Oh,
there will be a second club meetings where you can see some of the HR director, HR practitioner delivering their speeches and taking different roles. So this is my passion. I would like to also groom HR leaders and HR practitioners to be a great communicator and also good in public speaking, especially when we are invited to a conference. We can actually engage
Yes.
and also communicate our message to the audience very effectively.
Grace, you are so right because a lot of these HR people have so much of essence in them, but sometimes they
Yes.
don't want to come out and share because of the worry of saying something wrong. One
Yeah.
of the things I
Yes.
always encounter is I'm afraid of saying something wrong because I invite so many HR on HR TV too, but some will tell me a little bit scared. I don't know what to say,
Yeah, like I'm used to speaking in front of people, even though it's online, all those kind of things. But then these HR people are the ones with so many knowledge and so many things to share. So I think your initiative is very, very, very good.
Yeah, I have so many HR leaders in the group. In fact, we have 26 members. They are from various industry. We have people from the oil and gas. We have people from the one of them are theme park. We have people from co-way, for example. I have people from education. Believe it, it's also a networking session for all the HR leaders.
Is it a face-to-face session or a virtual tonight?
Right now, we are still having online, but we will probably organize another either hybrid or the face-to-face meeting. Yeah, because we have members who are coming from different states at the moment. We have
Yeah.
even one from Johor. Yeah.
Agnes says she's there with you tonight.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Hi,
Welcome, Agnes.
Agnes. So, if anyone from our HR fraternity who wants to join the classes,
The club.
how do they go about it? Can they
You
Yeah.
connect
give
with
my
you?
contact, Shireen. They can give my contact number to them, and then you can actually WhatsApp to me. Then we can give you the link for the meeting, and you find that this is something interesting and what you want to do for your personal development. You can join as a member.
Awesome. That's so nice to know more about that. Thanks, Grace, for explaining. Nina,
Thank you for
over
giving me
to
the
you.
opportunity.
Yeah,
No
we
problem.
can go on and on about this. However, we have to get back to the topic of the day, which is how to ace your talent development. A lot of people are eager to know more from our guest today, Grace. So before we begin, I'm going to do a brief introduction about it. So any organization that wants to thrive in this new digital economy era has the ability to do so by focusing on the most valuable asset that they have, which is their people. So, talent development is said to be the foundation of an organization's sustainability. Ongoing efforts to evaluate skill gaps, provide training programs, manage succession planning lead to more capable employees and better organizational performance. The latest trends in talent development have been in part shaped by the pandemic and how HR leaders are responding to the resulting new work models. So, how can we ace talent development at our organization? Okay, I'm sure that is the question that we all have. But before that, let's begin with the basics of it. Can you please define talent development for our audiences, Grace?
Thank you, Nina, for the brief introduction on the talent development and also to define, the question is talent development. I mean, it's such a huge topic, depends on each organization. For my view, talent development is actually a set of processes or program that you develop your talent in the company. Now, again, talent also depends on the definition by the company. Some of them, the whole workforce, they call it talents. And some of the company actually define talents are those who are, it can be technical expertise, it can be their high potential employee in the organization, or it can be a group of seniors management team that you want to plan for the succession planning. So talent development is, to me, is a very big word for it. And I would like to focus talent development more on talent per se. That means they are the potential employees which you are going to groom for the succession planning and also, of course, for the leadership pipeline that you're going to develop for your group. So it can be, I divided into 3 tiers when I talk about talent development. The lowest tier is the junior. They are the cell leaders. They are young executive. And then the middle level is tier 2 is the middle manager. And then the highest level is more on the head of departments where you will groom them to become either second liner or the CEO or general manager or head of department in the organization. So I would say that talent development actually starts when the employee joined a company already because you have onboarding program for them. You will have some development program for them, after maybe 6 months or 1 year they join the organization. So this is my opinion or my view on the talent development based on my experience as the HR head and also learning and development head in the different organizations that I worked with before. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Over to you, Nina.
Thank you, Grace. If you can explain a little bit further, what are some of the examples of talent development, if you can drill deeper into it?
Yeah, like talent development, to me, it depends on the vision, mission and objective of the company. For example, when I joined Berjaya, one of the mandate given to me is actually to develop talent, but for succession planning. All right. So I need to actually do an assessment of all the leaders in the organization. So I use what we call leadership assessment tools to be able to identify what are their gaps in terms of their leadership competency. Then together with a consultant and a group of facilitators, we come up with a development program when we identify the gap. For example, we actually identify the gap. We actually map it with the leadership competency of the Berjaya Group. When we identify that innovation and strategic planning is one of the gaps that most of the leaders have in the organization, we actually develop the programs towards having a innovation and also strategic planning program to develop them. And not only development program we are talking about, because a lot of company, I think some of the HR may have the wrong perception on you have training program, that's it. But what I did extra was we actually incorporated action project or action learning lab, we call it, where we have overall project to actually impact the various subsidiary in the organizations. And they have one program which is called action lab and project management. They learn project management. I will identify some of the project or pain points some of the company may have, and they will approach the company and they get company sponsor and they come up with a project to analyze the issues, the challenges that the company face, and come up with solutions. That is one of the successful talent development program that I have implemented in Berjaya when I was there. And I intend to do the same also in the UCSI group that currently I just joined about 6 months to develop talent within the organization as well. So talent development really is not just training program, but you need to identify the objective. Why are you doing it? And how you are going to do it. And the end of the project or the program is there an impact? How do you measure the impact? That is also very important, because at the end of the day, the management will ask you, if I invest so much fund or money in this group of talent, what is the return on investment I'm going to get? It can be quantitative, qualitative. Yes.
Wow, those projects, right? Like just say Berjaya projects, right? That you implemented. I mean, the talents implemented. Did it get implemented into the organization? Did any of
Yeah,
this?
some of them, yes. For example, we actually study, in one of the fast food change, the timing. For example, when a customer order at the counter, how fast will it take for the food to be delivered at the table? And then what are the process that they have to change to shorten the time frame so that the timing in terms of customer get the food and also they sit down and have their food and leave the store is very important, because you want to utilize the space that you have in the store. So it was implemented. They changed the process in terms of arrangement of some of the food, for example, and in terms of they shorten the process so that the time they are able to save actually will help to generate the sales for the store. And it was implemented.
Awesome.
Wow. I see. Okay. Okay. I think you've mentioned some of it already, but I want to know, why do you think is talent development important for an organization, and why is it relevant in today's workplace?
Okay. To me, you see, when employees join an organization, right? Of course, one of the attractive reason why they join is, of course, the salary. But I think at the end of the day, they're also looking at development opportunity that they have, especially the younger generation right now, the Y and the Z, you're talking about the new generation now. They're actually looking at the development opportunity that they will have. After I join, 6 months, what am I going? Will I be developed? What is my career path, for the company? Not about 5 years anymore. It can be between 1 to 3 years they're looking at. So a lot of them wanted to enhance not only their knowledge, also the experience that they have. So younger generation is the one that we also will focus. But of course, how about the current existing talent? With the change of the landscape, of the economy, with the pandemic, we need to upskills and reskills also some of the program or the employees that we have in the organization. They can be the heads of department, they can be the technical expertise, so we need to also focus on this group, the current employees. Now, how about those people who are already very senior in terms of their age, in terms of their seniority? We are not going to develop them per se, but we are going to actually appoint them as mentor to mentor the younger generation. So if you see the pyramids of an organization, the different level of the management staff and also the leadership, we need to also acknowledge, the experience and the subject matter expert that we have in organization, and how are we going to engage them to share their knowledge and experience, to groom the younger generation, because at the end of their retirement, they're going to leave. So what are we going to do with this group of people? So I always believe in mentoring program and also coaching program that we are going to not to say make use, but we are going to maximize, the expertise that we have with the senior, because some of them is not through books and not through training that you can gain the knowledge. It has to be mentoring and it has to be coaching, that they will transfer their knowledge to the younger generation in the organization. Yeah.
I totally agree, Grace, because we just completed a training with a client in Hong Kong, and these are people who are going to be retirees. And one of the things that the organization told us that they want a segment on how to get this senior who are retiring to mentor their younger generation. Instead of handling of course, their finances as a retiree and their time as a retiree, but how can they impact the younger generation in the organization? Because, like you say, sometimes it's not all about training only.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
to the younger generation for them to learn certain things, but it's really that gold nuggets that the
Yeah.
seniors hold as they were going through growing with the organization. Because these baby boomers, they did stay there for many years, so they know so much. They have so much of good insights to share, so you're so
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. I truly
Mm.
believe that because they have so much knowledge that, they just, some of them, you need to approach them because they don't know how to going to share their knowledge. So when you approach them and you conduct very basic thing on how to do mentoring, I think they will love to do that. They will love to do that to train the younger generation. And of course, we are selective also who can be the mentor, who can be the coach, yeah, because some people may not want to share. Some people love to share their knowledge, So this is the one that the HR had to play a role in the selection process.
That's right. And it also gives this retirees a purpose, an additional purpose in life also. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's say hello to Ty. Hi, Ty. Hi, Chanel. And Ethel says, insightful. Thanks, Grace. Guys, audiences, if you have questions or opinions, feel free to put it below because Grace loves to answer questions. She did say, point before we started the show, she said, point as much questions as possible from the audience because she's very excited to answer your questions. So, yeah, Grace, while we wait for them to ask some questions, let's move on. Now, let's get into the core of the topic. How to ace the talent development? What are the tips and tricks that you can share, Grace, to ace this talent development in organizations?
Yeah, I think the most important thing to know the why. Why do you want to do talent development in the organization? So that means we will go back again, to the vision, mission and the objective, and also the goals of the company or the organization that you work with. And I think the most, to me, my experience that you must get the buy-in for the senior management why you are doing talent development. I also have a few people share with me, some of them did not manage to convince the senior management to actually invest in talent development program for their talent. And I always believe that as an HR, we must understand why we are doing it. The why is so important because if you just implement or just propose for the sake of just developing the talent, you may not get the proposal approved or the buy-in. And also, if you get the buy-in from the CEO especially, that already a plus point for you. That it will be easier for you because the CEO will drive the talent development program. Just like when I was in my previous company, the CEO drive the talent development and also succession planning. So it will make my work easier as the HR. But then I must share, my proposal and the framework that I'm going to use to make the talent development program work for organization. It took me quite a while because I was new to the organization and there are so many companies, 100 over companies in a huge conglomerate. I had to understand the industry, F&B, hotel, property. They have clubs, golf clubs. So I need to understand the different hotel and resort, the different needs by the different industry. Then once the CEO approved my proposal, and I proposed to set up a talent council. Now this talent council, the chairman will be the CEO, and then the representative, the chairman will appoint. So most of them are actually CEO or executive directors or GM of the subsidiaries, because these are the group of people that will identify the talent in the organization, and then we will put the talents in other industry in their radar. Who is who in organization? Because part of the development plan that we have is also talent mobility. That means we are able to move our talent from F&B maybe to the hotel, from various industry, rather than retain them at the same companies, because sometimes there's limited position in the organization that you cannot move the person. So one of the way actually to move them out of the organization. And after the talent council set up, what I did was that I have a town hall session. I was given opportunity to present it in the top management meeting about the talent development and succession planning plan that HR is going to roll out. So we get some feedback in terms of the challenges that they may face in rolling out the program, and we get feedback and we improve the framework, and then we roll it out. So it took the whole program took about 1 year plus to roll for the the senior management team -1, their successor. And it was a successful program to me, succession, because we received very positive feedback from the participant as well as for the top management. So that was my success story in implementing the development program, how to ace it, in the sense that you must know what the organization need, objective, get the buy-in for the management, not only the management, but for the participant themselves, because some of them may have certain perception in terms of attending leadership development program, and focus on the business need, why we need to have the talent development. And of course, if you can, to work on the ROI, that is what I share with you on the project that we successfully implemented that time, and it was rolled out in the subsidiaries, and they see the result right away. That's why it was so impactful. And after that, the management approved to roll out few more batches.
Wow.
Based on the result. Yeah.
That's great. As long as the buy-in from the management is there, things will roll smoother. So we've got ASEAN says, hello, beautiful people. And we've got some questions actually. Rohit Basi asked, what practical framework model do you use for talent development?
I don't know whether you are familiar with a book called, let me just get it out. It's Leadership Pipeline by Ramchandran. So you can go and search the book. The framework I use is actually, I adopted from the Leadership Pipeline by Ramchandran, where Ramchandran actually come out with a pyramid, sort of, and the different level of the leaders that you can groom on the different level, and what are the leadership pipeline that you can deliver. That's why I adopted from the model. That's why I come up with 3 tiers, because at each of the level, you're talking about different leadership passage. For example, you're talking about cell leadership for the young executive. You're talking about team leadership when they are promoted to become a manager, they need to manage a team. You have without leadership. This is very focused very much on the business. And then you have enterprise leadership and also result leadership. So these are the different level of leadership passage. And then later you will have intervention, leadership development to groom them, to equip them with the leadership skills that they have as they move along the different level of the organization. So for example, the tier 3 that I have is actually more for career development. The tier 2 that I have for the middle manager is more for career development as well. And the highest tier is actually for succession planning. So this is the framework that I use for talent development.
All right.
Thank you so much for answering that. Thank you for sharing the title of the book. I immediately Googled it and found it, and I'll share it at the end of the show for everyone in case they didn't hear you correctly. So it's Leadership Pipeline by Ramcharan, right? Okay. We have another. Okay, we have a lot of questions actually, but let's answer one more question from the audiences first. Harvinder Malhotra asked, "What are the best strategy to retain talent?"
This is a very, challenging question to ask, because I think different organization will have different strategy to attract talent to join them. Like for example, I think the advantage that most of the MNC has will be branding. Their brand is so strong, and of course they are very selective in terms of attracting the talent and recruiting their talent. They have a very stringent recruitment process to attract their talent and recruit their talent. And of course, different generation, based on my experience, will have different reasons why they want to stay in the organization. Some of them, like I say, they join because of salary. After that, they see what are some of the contributions that they can make a difference to the organization. It can be in terms of their subject matter expert. If they are very good in marketing, for example, how they're going to come up with marketing plan for an organization, or they are very good in sales, how they're going to come up with sales proposal, to improve the sales, to change and be very creative in terms of sales proposal. However, some of the younger generation, they may want to join a company with their fresh graduate. They are looking at most of the time management trainee program. And as the organization, how attractive is the management training program that you have, job rotation, in terms of what are the opportunity for them to be going to different, some of the company actually send their management training to different companies or different countries for their attachment, So it depends on the organization that you join. So talent, different level of generation, different level of management, they have different reason why they want to stay in the company. So I think for HR, you need to know your people well. What attract them to remain in the company. Some of them like challenging tasks. Some of them like multitasking. Some of them may not like it. And some of them like to do project. They are excited when you give them something new. Some of them just want to be there just to work 9 to 6, or 9 to 5, for example. So you need to know your workforce very well. Perhaps they can do a survey, what actually will retain them. Some of them stay back because of attractive benefit. And especially now, I heard that most of the new, when we conduct interview, right, we realize that a lot of them ask, do you have flexi hours? Can I work from home? How many hours do I work from home? That kind of thing. So the questions, the landscape is so different right now. One of the criteria they have is actually, do you have flexible working hours, and also whether I can work from home? Because of the pandemic, people are so used to working from home. And in fact, this is one of the basic things that most of the candidates ask for. Can I work from home? Like how many days you give me to work from home? Yeah. So this is some of the things that really change. I cannot give you the specific answer to it because it's actually differ organization to organization. Yeah, from one organization to organization. Yeah.
Yeah, you are so right that a lot of talents do ask, how many days do I get to work from home now?
Flexibility, yeah.
Yeah,
Flexibility.
So I think the answer to that question would be there's no like one size fits all, and that you have to really know all of your talent before in order to retain them, in order to know how to retain them. Okay,
Yeah.
we have several more questions from the audiences, but shall I ask one more question from our side first, Shireen?
Yeah, I think let's go. There's a LinkedIn user, actually, that's from ASEAN. She asked, Hi, Grace, from your experience from developing talents, would you create the inventory of key development positions or create the pool first?
Again, it depends on the objective, why you're doing talent development. And of course, I think the most important thing is to actually to identify, normally what company would do is that, who are the talent in the company? That means they can be, in terms of, it can be divided into two groups. One is actually the talent in terms of their technical aspect. For example, you have a very good marketing director, for example, or you have a very good property developer, expertise in property development, for example. So you identify these are the group of people that have been with the company for quite a while, whether there is a potential successor, because there may be sometimes a big gap between the heads and the potential successor. And you need to identify how big is the gap, or whether there is a potential successor or else then you have to quickly identify and develop the potential successor, or the talent, we call it. But sometimes what we also do is that, what I would suggest to do is also, you don't also look at the successor, whether there is a successor, but quickly you identify these are the group of talent that you must groom first to retain them, to send them for leadership development, or to also identify them for certain project that they can contribute, because some of them love to do project. And also you need to create visibility for them to the top management. That means they are in the radar of the top management. They know who is this ABC or who is this DCE person. And when you mention the name, they say, oh yeah, I know this person had contributed quite a lot, have come up with excellent proposal, for marketing, for example, or had come up with very creative name for the property that the company is going to develop, for example. So these are the few things that we need to identify in terms of either having a pool of people, for what reason, the purpose of having the pool, and the purpose of having a succession planning. But you know what? Doing talent development or succession planning, HR actually taking a risk. The company is taking a risk. Because I noticed that after you develop them, right, they will be pinched by other company. So that's why that is the risk that you have to take. And then that's why some of the company may hesitate to spend too much investment in terms of developing their talent. But again, it's up to the HR, or the company to decide, do we want to develop the talent from within or you want to buy from outside? What is the advantage and disadvantage? And then how much it costs for you to really buy from outside? Or you develop your own talent and that you already know these are the people who are performer, who are top performer. And of course, you have to do something to retain them. Or of course, one of them is rewards and recognition. That, I mean, a lot of you would agree. The rewards actually will play a very important role how you retain the talent within your organization. That's all. Let's have some more questions. I hope I answered your question.
You definitely did. In fact,
Yeah.
ASEAN did ask also one another part of it. Like you said, it's not only training, right? That is for talents. So she said this. It is challenging to get buy-in from senior management to invest for external training consultant coaches as part of the development resources. Any tips, please? So, would you like to share the other things that they can do besides training and coaching?
Yeah, I think for the investment, yeah, there's always a big challenge. But you know what? A lot of company now had to contribute to HRDF
Yeah.
fund, or now it's called HRD Corp. And we, at that time, we maximize the usage of the HRD fund that we have, HRD Corp fund that the company has. And we claim a lot from that fund. Of course, because a lot of company they actually contribute to the levy. It's actually called levy. And we managed to claim back a lot. We managed to claim back from the fund that we invested in the talent. So it depends on the industry that you are from, but I think now almost all the industry has to contribute to HRD fund. So I don't think there's an issue in terms of convincing your management, to invest. And of course, then you have to decide the distribution, the quantum, how much you want to allocate for the talent pool or the succession planning, and how much you want to reserve for the rest of the employees. So normally my rules is about 20-80. It can be depends on how you want to, because I would invest more on the talent
So 80%
because
of
these are the group of people that you want to retain. And also again, the 20-80 rules apply also. Most of the time 20% of the productivity come from the 20% of the talent, to contribute 80% of the result or the performance of the company. I mean, this is some of the research that show already the top talent contributed a lot to the organization. So it depends on who you want to focus in terms of your development of their talent.
Absolutely. Thanks, Grace. And before I pass it on to you, Nina, for the
Yeah.
next question, for those audiences who are not Malaysian, Grace spoke about Human Resource Development Corporation that is applicable to the Malaysian companies and Malaysian employees. So, yeah, over to you, Nina.
Thank you so much, Shireen. Okay, actually, some of the questions that we've prepared have already been asked by our audiences, but we also would like to know. I think you've briefly shared about this, but can you share with us what are the goals that we seek to achieve in talent development?
Of course, one of them is to retain talent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and to get future ready leaders, for organization. You want to get them ready, to face some of the uncertainty, especially now during the pandemic, to get them ready to face and to be agile, to be flexible. And I think the other thing is also to to be able to accept change easily. That means to embrace the change that we are experiencing right now, rather than complain about the change that we are experiencing, the difficulty and the challenge. So that's why the talent development is very important. The program that you design or you implement is very important to get the leaders, in the organization ready to face the challenges and how agile they are. Because some of them, they may be facing some challenges, but they may not be aware. For example, I think now we are talking about mental health issues and all that. I have, someone come to me feeling really stressful, in terms of managing the work and also the family because of the pandemic, And without them realizing it, there's under a lot of stress. And then some of them even, this is bad, I really was shocked to find out they're even having the suicidal mind, that, I cannot cope anymore. I just want to die, that kind of thing, rather than to face. So that's why it's very important for HR to be aware of what is going on in the organization and, to provide the employee assistance program. In fact, USI, we have a counselor who are very expert in the counseling the employee, not only employees, the students, especially when they face the challenge in terms of stress management in exam time, the anxiety they face, some of them are overseas students and international students. So university, they have a student counselor, and I'm also actually talking to one of them to have employee assistant to counsel the lecturers, the employees, because the lecturer themselves also face a lot of stress. Managing the student online, when you had to move from physical to online, the challenges they face, to get the lecture done and to transfer the knowledge to the student online. So that's why I think we need to be very agile in terms of modifying and changing our program and tweak our program to suit the current challenges that all of us are facing, be it an employees or students or mothers, your parents as a wife and husband, it's all connected. So that's why HR now are moving into different focus, not only the employees, we actually care about beyond the employees, the parents, even the children, the families members of our employees in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole pandemic caused the shift in the whole things
Yes,
in
the
HR
shift.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they call empathetic, more of empathetic leadership right now.
Yeah.
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 So ASEAN mentioned it is true. It is a risk to train the people, but well, not training them is also a risk. It's like a chicken and egg situation. You don't train them, they leave. You train them, they also can leave. So might
Yeah.
as well train, because then we have a population out there which is at a better standard, I feel. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
so, Mhm. Apart from ROI, what other analytics do you use to monitor the success of your talent development strategy, Grace?
Uh, I remember when I presented to the talent council, in terms of the result, what we do is that we compile how many talent that we had developed and how many of them have been promoted to take over the higher position also in terms of the percentage. And some of them actually move intercompany transfer. That is what we call the talent mobility. So you can actually show the success of the program, not only by the ROI, but in terms of retaining the talent and also for them to be promoted and to take over the higher position. Maybe their bosses are retired or maybe moved to another organization in the group, another company or subsidiary. And the other one, some of them are horizontal, not really promotion, but they are transferred to a bigger company with a bigger sales volume, for example, or larger portfolio in terms of their sales. So this is all to me is the result that you can show to the management, analytics that you can see how many percent of the talent that you develop have moved to another level, have been transferred, and whether they improve in terms of their performance. Like for example, after the development program, how many of them actually do to be able to increase their sales, for example, or how many of them are actually be able to retain their own team of people within their organization. So attrition rate can be also one of the measurement that you can give. For example, one of the GM actually transferred to manage another business. And then you can see that through the appointment as a GM organization, he was actually sent to turn around a company. The company was not doing very well, and you can see that within a year, he was able to break even the company. And then HR actually interviewed the person, say, what actually is a success factor that he was be able to turn around the company. And he actually attribute because of the leadership program that he undergone, where they teach about being innovative, coming up with strategic plan. And there's one, I think, tools that they use is called business canvas. He was able to analyze, what is the pain point of what make the business fail and how to make the business successful, and very detailed analysis of the business. And in fact, he implement a lot of action plan, and that's why he managed to turn around the company. So to me, that is a success measurement or success factor of your development program, that where the participants or the talent are able to implement whatever they learn from the program to make it work for the company or the work environment that they work in. So this is the success story that I wish to share with you all. So no matter what you do, or it's an HR practitioner, you need to go to the ground. So what I did was, when I first joined the company, was I visited almost every subsidiaries. I understand their problem, pain point. That's why when the leadership program that we developed, I was able to also say, okay, which company that we need to come up with a project to help them to resolve some of their challenge that they have. And they don't have a team. So this group of people who are the leadership development program participants, about 5 of them went in and applied the theory, so-called they learned, to analyze the situation and come up with proposal to resolve the problem and the challenges that the business are facing. So this is how we make it practical, not only a training program, but a very practical program to be implemented.
Using the tools learned during training and applying it at the real workplace. Yeah,
Yes.
I used business canvas once or so.
Yeah,
Forgot
business
how
canvas.
so powerful. Do you know, I actually kept the whole canvas. It was a teamwork, and I actually do open it up every now and then to look at it, how your business can actually change. Based on
Yes, that's right. It's a
canvas.
very powerful tool. Yeah.
Very powerful. Well, wow, we've come to 150. We've got several more questions. Grace, you know, the pandemic has come, the pandemic has gone now in an endemic stage. There are do's and don'ts in the talent development. What are the things that we should avoid? Things that may be outdated already since the pandemic, that are no longer relevant in today's world. Is there any that you can share? Any practices that
Okay. Yeah,
outdated?
I think you need to look at again, back to the companies, where are they right now and where they want to move, what are the program that you may want to propose, to really develop the talent that in your organization. We know that a lot of people are talking about digitalization, transformation, about, I think, the mental health issues that a lot of employees are facing, and they prefer to work from home. I mean, these are some of the challenges. At first we hesitate to work from home. Now we are so comfortable to work from home, and we don't want to go back to office. And then I think you saw in the news and all that, that some people refuse to go back, and they were thinking, how do we address these issues of people refuse to go back to office to work, that kind of thing. Remember Elon Musk also talk, you come back or you lose your job, that kind of thing. So you even have that kind of challenges that the top management had to make a decision. No, you just have to come to work. I don't care. That kind of thing. Or some organization really accommodate to the employee request to work from home, to be able to measure, their productivity and all that. So these are some of the things. And of course, for the development part, I always believe in doing research and also keeping myself abreast. What is going on in the business world. What are some of the knowledge or information that you should equip your talent or your leaders in organization. That is where, when I source for program, when I talk about development program with a consultant, I will actually also will tap on their recommendation as well, to talk what is the trend right now in terms of development program, for the top talent in your organization. It can be about agility, it can be about digitalization, what is a the knowledge that you have, they may not be in depth, but just maybe the tip of the iceberg about a conversation that they can have easily, the term that they can speak, then it can sound very intelligent and very knowledgeable. Sometimes we don't need to go into very deep dive into certain topics that you need to discuss, but rather at least you know some of the terminology, the keywords that you use when you have a conversation. So again, I will tap on the consultant that I will work with, and also I will do a lot of research. I love research. I don't mind sharing with you, Shireen, because that is where I got the information, and then I will tweak it to adapt to the company or the environment that I work with. Because, like Nina said, there's no one size fits all. It can be the best development program organized by a very reputable organization or consultant, but you need to bring back and then test it and then see whether it worked for your organization and culture. And of course, one of the important things is the budget that you have. Can you afford, to engage expensive, consultant, and whether you get the same result? And sometimes we have a lot of consultants locally in Malaysia. We are so
Yes.
talented, which is so practical, and they can do as much work and miracle to develop our talent locally. This is what I believe in sharing my experience.
That's a
Nice.
very, 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 very good answer for that, Grace. We are actually approaching the end of the sessions. Before we before we go to the conclusion, can you okay, there are some common assumptions about talent development, that it is expensive, it's meant for only new hires, and that it is only effective if it's done face to face. So what do you say about them? Are they facts or are they myths in talent development? And maybe after that you can conclude the session for us as well.
You mean what? Whether talent development is effective in terms of online and face to face?
Expensive only for new hires, and that only effective if it's done face to face.
I think is to me is I always believe in how do I say, different platform for learning. It can be e-learning, it can be face to face, it can be also
Gamification.
incorporated coaching and mentoring as well. Yeah, because e-learning will save a lot of time. Especially the younger generation is actually a self-driven development, self-motivated learning, that they just anytime, anywhere, they can just log in and then learn the theory part, and then maybe the training will enhance further on the practicality of the theory that they have studied. So I believe in combination of face-to-face e-learning, and in fact also mentoring and coaching. And I think very important role that learning and development or HR play is actually monitoring and tracking, because a lot of time the program was implemented, but nobody actually follow up. And
Correct.
what I did was I did a bit different than certain organization. What they do is that you always have the IDP first, individual development plan first, but I do it the other way. Only at the end of the program, the participant need to come up with individual development program for what's next for them, to further enhance the gap that they have, which they may not be able to develop during the 1 year program. And at that time, I actually have a person, a manager, to track the implementation of the IDP. That means within the 6 months, and I will sit down together with the participants to coach and guide them in terms of their development plan. And then whether it's a realistic, when do they want to achieve it? For example, they say that I want to be a coach. I want to learn further to be a coach, because one of the program that they attended was coaching skill, to have coaching skill, leader as a coach. Then they want to develop their coaching skills. So again, I put them as one of the IDP action plan. Then we will monitor whether they actually attend the program, that's one thing, and whether they implement the 20 hours coaching that they need to implement. So again, it's about learning and development, about HR monitoring and track, because all of us are very busy. If nobody
Yes.
come and remind us, hey, have you done this? Have you done that you want to do? We will forever don't do it, or you forgot to do it, and we just let it pass by and goes by, right? So that's why to me, HR play a very important role in monitoring and tracking the progress of the participants or the talent after they completed their development program. and close monitoring. And of course, the other thing is to constantly, what we call, refresh your talent pool. Some of them may resign, some of them may be transferred to other organization in the same group, or they left the organization. So you need to fill in. It's like refilling also, when the talent pool already gone down. So you had to train fresh talent and develop fresh talent again. So to me, talent development is a continuous process. Every year or every other year, you need to do it until you exhaust all the talent that you need to have. That's my take on that. And of course, I always believe in framework. Use a framework that is applicable and practical to our organization. What work in the experience I share may not work in the organization that you have. So you need to tweak a little bit to adapt to your culture, to your environment, and to your management objective in terms of developing the talent management. Yeah.
That's beautiful advice, Grace. I've learned so much today, and we've approached the end of the show. I can't believe it's 2 o'clock. Can you believe it, Grace, Nina?
Yeah, and we haven't even
Yeah.
finished all of our questions.
Yeah, but I'm so excited that the audience has a lot of questions, and they've
Yeah.
asked that they got their questions answered. And
Mm-hmm.
so we would like to thank Grace for such an amazing, insightful session, and most of all, to have this serious discussion with us today. Before we end, are there any way the audience can reach out to you? Should they have any other questions, or maybe
Oh
they
yeah, I
want
have
to?
my LinkedIn, Grace Chan. You can check my LinkedIn and my Facebook. You should see my picture there. You know this is Grace Chan. Okay. Yeah, you can connect me to Grace Chan. Or the other thing is that Shireen, it's okay. You can share my contact number with them. I'm okay. If they WhatsApp to you or they inform you that they want to connect with me, I'm happy to be connected with them. And of course, the other thing, if you want to join the Toastmasters, HR Leader Toastmasters meeting, you can also go through Shireen to get my contact. I'll be happy to share with you when do we meet, and currently it's still on time. Online, but eventually I think we're going to move into hybrid because recently most of the club already started to have face-to-face, and it's so different. They have face-to-face to be able to have so much energy and connection with each of the members. When you deliver a speech, you can connect to your audience very easily, unlike in the screen, you just see the little pinhole there. Yeah.
That's the power about face to face, isn't it? The connection and the energy
Yes.
that is forced within the
Yeah.
room itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, thanks so much again for joining us, Grace.
Mm.
To our audience,
Thank you,
stay
Shireen, for inviting me. It's really an honor and privilege to be able to share my knowledge, and also to give the opportunity to me to share. Because, like I told Shireen, I love to share my experience because I believe in sharing, my knowledge, and I'm not stingy into selling my knowledge. In fact, I also sign up as a mentor, together in the HR leader group that we have, that to mentor young HR practitioner to be HR director and also HR leaders in the pipeline. So this is one of the project that I'm also involved in. And I also involved in Tulips,
tulips.
Tulips
Yes.
organization to mentor the career comeback women and also the young graduates. Yeah, that has been my passion also, to mentor young graduates, in terms of their career, and also to mentor women in terms of career comeback women, how they prepare themselves to come back to work. And they resign, most of them, because of their family commitment and taking care of their young children and all that. Yeah.
Great. So, guys, you hear that? Grace gives out so much. She doesn't withhold any information. So, get in touch with her on LinkedIn, or if you need her contact number, get in touch with me. I will share it with you because she's got so much to share out with all of you guys. So, stay tuned, guys, on Compass Mind Asia's social media page for more info about our other upcoming episodes. We'll put up the link in the comment section below, as Nina has already done.
Yep.
If you are a HR leader and want to be our guest on our show, drop us a PM or LinkedIn or email us. And if you're an L&D manager and looking for any soft skill trainings or team building trainings, Connect with me now or drop us an email at training@compassmind.com. And I can't wait to see you guys on our next episode of HR Intervention. Serious discussions only.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody, for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Shireen
Thank
and
you so
Nina.
much,
You're such a
Grace.
great
Thank you, everyone.
host.
Bye.
Bye bye. Stay safe, everybody.